it was a big weekend at the box office.
Yes, it was.
Big time weekend at the box office. 2 movies that I've really been looking forward to came out at the same time.
Aquaman and
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee.
That's right. Really looking forward to those 2 movies. I circled it in the calendar. So we're going to do something a little bit different. It's almost like a combined review. Right? Real quick, we're going to keep it short. So let's start with Aquaman, directed by the talented James Wan, known for doing a lot of horror movies. Right, so this is something totally different for him, and I give him a lot of credit. You know, he went into this genre. He's done other types of movies like The Conjuring.
Okay.
And this is, I think, the first time he does a superhero movie. And Linda, what do you got to say about this movie?
Okay, so I liked it, but I didn't love it.
You didn't love it?
I didn't love it. I didn't really blew me away. It did not.
It did not blow you away?
No, it did not. And
Okay.
I thought it was going to, because I mean, it is Aquaman, and the trailer looked really good and you know, exciting. And don't get me wrong, it was good. You know, the visual, it was excellent. The action part was good, but just the story itself of the movie did not capture my attention as much as I wanted to.
Okay, that's fair enough. I thought it was very different. You know, there's been so many comic book movies done, and this one is something different that we haven't seen before. I think some of the visuals were amazing.
Yes, they were.
Some of the special effects. I heard some people complaining about the special effects, but in terms of that, some of them were amazing. Some of them were okay, but there were so many special effects in this movie that you can't really expect all of them to be amazing. And I thought when the special effects were good, they were awesome. Some of the underwater scenes alone are worth the price of admission. When he's going into these journeys, these adventures, into these worlds under the water, these different kingdoms, really visually stunning to watch. James Wan, he did an amazing job. Amazing job with that. I mean, just thinking of the technical aspect of making a movie like that, the complexity of it, the fact that these people are not there, you know, when they're underwater, they're not walking around the set or anything, they're floating. Like, how do they do stuff like that? The hair is floating, you know, and then they have it's so complex. I saw an interview with him, and James Wan, the director, he said that every scene in the movie was very complicated to make.
I'm sure.
Every single scene in the movie. I give him a ton of credit. I enjoyed the movie. Now, in terms of the story, I wish the story would have been a little bit tighter. And also, the one thing that bothered me about this movie was the dialogue. The dialogue was a little bit stiff, especially not Jason Momoa's character, Aquaman. He was fun. You know, he had his one-liners. He was funny, very charismatic. His lines came across very natural. But for some of the other characters in the underwater kingdom, the 7 seas, it didn't feel natural. Like, the dialogue didn't feel natural to me in a lot of scenes. And also, for example, Dolph Lundgren's in this movie. And I didn't realize he was going to be in this movie. He's getting a lot of work. Dolph Lundgren, he was in Creed as well. And some of his lines just felt so stiff and hard to understand. That stuff, little stuff like that kind of threw me off.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that's why I wasn't so happy about it, because I was just not convinced of these characters. You know how sometimes you get so attached to a character, you know, and I just didn't feel connected to a character, except Jason Momoa, of course, you know. He did a really good job, and he, you know, he was the main character in this movie.
He did a great job.
But everybody else, I was just not, even the girl, like, I don't remember her name. Like, I just didn't feel that connection. Like, usually when it's like a kind of like a love story in a movie, I'm really like into it. And this was not the case.
You weren't into it.
I really liked it. I'm not saying I didn't like it. So don't go so hard. I'm not going so hard on this movie. And please do not criticize it. I did like it. I just didn't love it. And I just, so many things that I was like,
could have been better.
Could have been better.
All right, moving on. We said enough about Aquaman. Bumblebee.
Woo! Clearly,
prequel.
You guys know.
Prequel to the Transformers movies. You know, set in 1987. Directed by a new director. Usually it was Michael Bay. This time Travis Knight and it stars Holly Steinfeld. I never seen her in a movie before, to be honest. For me, she's new. I know you've seen her. And John Cena, You Can't See Me. Stars John Cena. You like that? You like that? That's his wrestling move. You can't see me. Anyway,
I can see him.
Anyway, so I watched the trailers. I was a little suspicious about it because I've been very disappointed by other Michael Bay movies.
Okay.
You know, they weren't my favorite movies, the Michael Bay ones, because Transformers as a kid was one of my favorite cartoons. Like, hands down. I love Transformers and Thundercats. And when I saw the movies, I was like, man, that's not Transformers. What is this Michael Bay?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I was pleasantly surprised. Linda, what did you think about this movie?
I mean, clearly you guys saw my excitement when he said Bumblebee. I love this movie. I was so happy with it, and it's funny because I thought Aquaman was gonna be like the one that blew me away, and it was the opposite. Bumblebee is the one who really, really blew me away.
Really?
That I did not expect it to be so good. It was so different. It was fresh. It was just the connection with the characters. The girl, she did an amazing job.
Oh yeah.
You know, and
Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, Haley Steinfeld.
Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
Exactly, like her story. You know, the whole drama of being a teenager with the family. You know, and all that stuff, but. She just connected so well with Bumblebee. She just connected so well with Bumblebee that it was so believable, and it was just like it felt good. It felt like, like a true story that you connect with this like thing,
right?
And it helped her also to be better. I love the movie, and like you say, it was just this director really brought a fresh. Visual to all these Transformers movies that had come out before.
Right. I totally agree. I really felt like this was the Transformers I saw in the cartoons, the character designs, the way they looked. It didn't look that artificial like Michael Bay's movies where it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of Optimus Prime, but it's not the one I remember. No, that was Optimus Prime from the cartoons that I saw as a kid. And then it also had that vibe of the 80s because it was in the 80s. So it all matched, it all came together. The cartoons, when I watched them, were from the 80s, and this movie took place in the 80s. So it really fit with the whole vibe, with the whole concept of Transformers. And it reminded me of those great throwback movies from the 80s like The Goonies.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
I really enjoyed that aspect. It was very nostalgic. And then let's talk about Haley Steinfeld's performance in this movie. I'm guessing most of the time she was talking or acting with somebody that's wearing like a green screen suit, but she did it so believable. Like her emotions when when Bumblebee's in jeopardy, and her performance made me believe that stuff was really going on. And another thing, this is a perfect example of less is more. Michael Bay was always having explosions, tons of Transformers that I didn't even know who they were, but this time they focused on Bumblebee, his character. And since most of the movie he's kind of by himself, isolated, trying to survive, you feel for Bumblebee's character. He becomes a real character that can have real consequences. You're scared for him because he's vulnerable. In the other Transformers movies, they didn't feel like there was any consequences. You know, people just getting shot here and there. Yeah. There was no consequences. There was no real sense of danger. In this one, you feel the sense of danger. And you feel these characters connecting. Amazing directing by Travis Knight. And even John Cena did a great job. Yeah. So I enjoyed this movie. I'm giving it the lit. I think the lit approval.
The lit approval. And one thing that I want to add. I like the beginning of this movie so much because it kind of... I started from where everything started. It gave you the background of the Transformers, which, you know the story because you watched it when you were a kid, but I didn't. I just liked the Transformers movies. But this one really explained how everything happened. And I believe that's what it is, So I love that. And I agree. I give it the lit stamp approval.
The lit stamp of approval.
Approval. And Aquaman, I give it the approval.
I give it an approval.
The Will Weekly approval, but not the lit approval.
All right, so I mean that pretty much answers. I was gonna ask, the question here was, which movie won the weekend for you?
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee.
Mm-hmm.
This weekend, the winner is Bumblebee.
For me, it's Bumblebee.
For me, I'm surprised. For me, it's very surprising. Going into this movie, I was really looking forward to Aquaman, but Bumblebee stole my heart. Bumblebee stole my heart, and I hope all the Transformer movies from here on out are directed by Travis Knight.
I agree.
Hell of a director.
Yes.
It had comedy, action, emotional moments. There's stuff going on with her character, with her father.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say too much, but you really feel for her in this movie, and it's also really fun to watch.
Yeah. It's funny you say that about the father. Yeah, I think that's why also I connected so much to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, guys, let us know what you think. Which movie did you enjoy the most this weekend? Leave us a comment. I'm really curious to hear what you guys got to say.
And please subscribe.
Subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace.
Bye, guys.